What's up, everybody? It's your coach Jaron here with Forge, and today we are going to talk about the conventional deadlift. Now, up till this point, you have built familiarity with the hip hinge pattern as well as the ability to connect mentally with the muscle groups like the glutes and the hamstrings that drive that motion using the Bulgarian goat bag swing. We've also expanded on this skill by picking up an external object using the kettlebell deadlift. But as we've discussed in both of those videos, you'll ultimately be limited in your ability to build strength and capacity due to the limitations of being able to load those two movements. And the conventional deadlift picks up exactly where these two variations leave off. Now, I consider the deadlift to be one of the most important lifts for anyone of any demographic, regardless of your goal. In fact, deadlifts used to be referred to as the health lift because of their massive carryover towards not only strength and muscle mass, but also performance in aspects such as running and overall longevity and injury prevention. In fact, we can never really have too much capacity to pick something up off of the ground and do it in a way that is safe and protects our spine. And so for that reason, everyone needs to learn how to deadlift, and here's how to do it. Now, to perform the conventional deadlift, we're going to follow many of the same cues that you should already be familiar with from learning the kettlebell deadlift. To begin, we're going to start by taking a stance that is approximately hip width apart. You may, over time, with experimentation, find that you're a little bit stronger, just slightly narrower, or slightly wider than this, but that's going to depend on your individual leverages and just the experience that you gain with time. In general, around hip width is going to be where you want to begin. We're also going to stand in a position where the bar, when we look straight down at it, cuts our foot in half. We want to have this in line with the arch of the foot, so that way as we drive pressure evenly through the feet, we're keeping maximal force so that the bar can travel completely vertically without having to deviate forwards or backwards to compensate for our body. Our goal here is for the bar to always travel in a straight line up and down, and for us to accommodate that bar path with our body position, so that way we're maximizing efficiency and leverage. From here, we're going to follow the same sequence as we did with the kettlebell deadlift. Starting with the feet, we're going to root so that we have equal contact between the heel, little toe, and big toe of both feet. We're going to create an active arch in through our foot so that way we can feel those muscles of our feet engage and feel our weight being centered evenly through both feet. From here, we're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, allowing the rib cage to drop and the obliques and abdominals to create tension. We're going to inflate again through the nose and karate chop our hips backwards like we did with the Bulgarian goat bag swing. From here, once we reach down to the bar, we're going to pull the little bit of tension out of the bar. Now with the barbell deadlift, you'll notice that there's some play between the bar and the plates, regardless of whether you're using a crappy bar like this or a nice Olympic bar or a deadlift bar. There will always be just a slight amount of play in the bar. That clinking sound is going to be our cue that we have created tension between our body and the object that we're lifting. So we're always going to take that little bit of slack out of the bar. From here, we're going to create tension in through our lats and our armpits by closing the armpits, rotating the elbow forward, or thinking about squeezing a tennis ball in our armpit. So that way we're creating tension in through the lats. Once we've done these things, we can drop our hips, keeping that tension in through the glutes and the hamstrings, and keep the head nice and neutral. It's important that we don't shove our head out, as this will break our brace and cause us to arch the lower back and lift primarily from the lower back rather than the hips. Rather, we want to just keep the head tall and neutral with an eye line that is just slightly forwards. So all together, we root, we inhale, we exhale, we inflate, we hinge, we pull out the tension, we close the armpits, drop the hips, and push through the floor by squeezing the glutes. To lower the bar, we're going to do this exact same sequence, but in reverse, starting by pushing the hips backwards towards the wall. Once we clear the knees, we can sink straight down to the ground. At the floor, we're going to maintain tension between ourselves and the bar and not relax everything. We want to maintain that position and get the opportunity to learn the proper movement pattern on the way up and on the way down. Now, regarding grip, you have a few different options to go with. If you're brand new to deadlifting, I suggest sticking with a double overhand grip for as long as you can. If you are someone who does not have significant grip strength, then it's not a big deal for you to be limited in the amount of weights that you can deadlift. I would rather that you develop some grip strength first, although this will be the weakest of the grips and will ultimately be the limiting factor in your deadlift strength. Once you've developed sufficient grip strength, then you can switch to either a mixed grip, where you have one hand that is under and one hand that is over, or what I actually prefer is a hook grip, where the bar actually rests on the thumb and you wrap the thumb with the other fingers. The benefits of a hook grip is it allows you to maintain a symmetrical grip that does not put any uneven pressure on the spine. The mixed grip, while it is popular and can be effective for many people, it does have an imbalance inherent in the difference in pronation and supination between the two hands. If you decide to go with a mixed grip deadlift, then I suggest that you spend time alternating your grip orientation for either from set to set or from workout to workout, although you will still have a dominant grip that is strongest. So I've had to find this out from experience, as always deadlifting with the same mixed grip for a lot of years and a lot of reps has caused a lot of imbalances that took a long time for me to correct until I ultimately had to go backwards and switch over to a hook grip. You can also deadlift with straps, but I would suggest saving the straps for your assistance work or any back off sets or higher volume sets of deadlifting that you may be doing, as we don't want to create an artificial sense of our strength level by always wearing straps only to find out our grip is 200 to 300 pounds weaker than the rest of the lift. If you can't hold on to it, then you can't lift it. For the double overhand grip, you're going to want to get the bar deep into your hands, setting the weight more so on the meat of the palm rather than the tips of the fingers. This is going to ensure that the bar digs into your hand and gives you maximum grip, as that tension of the skin will help you to maintain grip either for a longer number of reps or a heavier amount of weight. It's an acquired pain tolerance and it may not feel great, but that is just part of deadlifting, and I don't really have a solution for you besides toughen up, buttercup. For the mixed grip, this gives us the benefit of, as the fingers fail on one hand, they fail into the fingers on the other hand. So that torque from the hands being in an uneven position allows your grip to last for higher amounts of weight or longer amounts of reps. With this variation, you'll still put the bar deep into your palm on both sides and allow the wrists to straighten. It's important on the mixed grip that you don't allow this supinated hand to stay bent, as that's going to put undue pressure on the bicep and can lead to a bicep injury. Always leave the arms long and treat them like hooks. For the hook grip, you're going to place the thumb underneath the bar. The bar is going to rest on the pad of the thumb, like so, and the rest of the fingers are going to wrap around the thumb and lock it into place. I'm turning my hands upside down so that way you can see what's going on in the hand. But it goes on the pad of the thumb, not down into the knuckle, and then either the middle finger or the pointer finger will wrap around and hook that thumb into place. The benefits of this, like I said, were that the hands get to stay in a symmetrical position, but also, and this may depend on the size of your hands, the bar will rest lower in the hand and can actually shorten the range of motion, allowing you better leverage and the ability to lift more weight. So now that you know how to perform the conventional deadlift, I hope you enjoy spending the rest of your training career building strength and capacity in this great movement. Great benchmarks for everyone, regardless of age, are going to be a 1.5 times body weight deadlift for women and a double body weight deadlift for men. These are not exceedingly high goals. I think they're something that can be achieved by just about anyone, regardless of age. And they're just awesome targets for you to shoot for to have a baseline level of strength as you age. They're going to help promote the loss of bone density and muscle mass as you get older. And they give you a reserve of strength to do day-to-day tasks. So that way, everyday items such as picking things up off the ground or hauling or moving furniture have less overall impact on you. So enjoy your newfound skill of deadlifting, and I look forward to seeing you build progress.